Well, good evening. This is Tenacious Earl, and I'm going to do a relatively quick update here on the channel. Well, I'm not on Tabletop Earl's half of the channel. He's got that under control, obviously, but on mine, um, might be able to get a game in tomorrow afternoon. Things are they aren't busy, but I'm just kind of trying to get things done with this Phillies project, and Hi Tribe fan. I get them done quicker when I'm not producing videos. So you know, um, things go well with it, and then there's speed bumps, and they had a speed bump here against a rookie pitcher, which the Phillies didn't realize. I mean, they lost this. So they split against the Padres in the first two games. They beat Maddox, Greg Maddox, which Maddox at the end of his career, not as effective as he once was. Moyer got the victory in that one. But then they faced Chad Reineke, who is basically a scrub. And, in real life, they lost 8-3. They had a chance in this one. They lost 3-2. So, hi, Manny. So, they lost in 11. It was a frustrating game. And that you're going to have those. Um, I mean, I'm not sure how anybody can really root for the Padres. How can you go to a game there? I mean, it's got to be one of the worst. It's got to be one of the worst parks to be able to watch a ball game and expect to see a run. I mean, these I don't know. It's it's infuriating. I mean, good conditions, singles or twos. I mean, these are the best conditions. Singles, twos, lefty home run three, righty home run six. So you might just as well. Well, I guess for the last few years here with the Padres, that maybe those numbers don't look as. Let me see. Do I still have the 2017 chart up here? I might. How do they look on this? Nah, wait here. Yeah, here we go. San Diego. Yeah, it's inflated a little bit more. So, but I guess they must have had good pitching in that year because man, it's ugly. But um, it was just frustrating game, but it's the way it goes. So a little other update. So I'm at game. What was that? I just played 123, so we're under 40. That's nice. Nice to be making headway. Um, Hi, Mark. Hi, Jerry. If I missed someone else, I apologize. But yeah, so we're getting there. It's little by little. Um, uh, for the most part, good. But they took three or four from the Dodgers. But when you lose a game to a Padres team that is, I want to say 15 games better in this simulation than they were in real life at this point. Um, for one thing, it's a head scratcher, and another thing, you're kind of hoping that maybe there's a correction, but I guess there was in this game because they didn't score 8 runs, but they did get enough to win. And Reineke, he gave up his hits, but again, if when you're playing that team in that park, it's just you know you might as well just flip a coin and say, okay, you won coin flip, you win 1-0. That's kind of like that seems to be Petco Park's legacy. So, um, but you wonder why the Marlins have trouble, Padres have trouble. You know, who shows up to Dodger games before the fifth inning? And I mean, when they're good, and then people do show up. But I mean, build build pitchers parks and watch your game go bye bye. That's if you want baseball to suffer, build a bunch of pitchers parks. That's basically that's hockey's philosophy to things. Let's bring down the number of goals. Let's bring down the excitement. So, but anyway, yeah, we're getting closer to pitchers and catchers, which is nice. Got the Olympics on. Not everybody's into that right now. I was watching some of it today. It's tough to. I mean, it's tough to sit down and kind of like watch all the events. It's the only time you see them. You don't really know much about them. You don't know much about the athletes, and then they tell you about the athletes, and you still mixed doubles curling. Yeah, I watched that one. That was a fun one. It's too bad that brother and sister had such trouble early on, but um, you know, it's all that game seems to be a lot of feel and making good strategic decisions. And especially, I think because of the mixed doubles, there's some rules to try and kind of like shorten the action some. So they kind of boil down, kind of feels like in softball leagues where you start with a what is it, a 3-2 count or a 2-2 count, maybe 2-1, I don't know. When you start with a modified count, kind of feels like that with the mixed doubles because they start with two stones on the sheet to begin with before anything starts, and then they cut down to 5 tosses or whatever they call them, passes. I don't know, 5 for each team. But so that was part of what I wanted to talk about was the Phillies replay. Some maybe it's 1-1, I guess. It's been a couple years since I played softball. Got to the point where I'm not built for it anymore. I should be in better shape, and maybe that would help. But what was I gonna say? Ends, yeah, but the when you throw the stone down there and you slide it down, that's sort of a. But yeah, they're not innings, they're ends. So golf. I'm thinking about getting started with this brainstorm of our own. Basically taking cards that represent people who have been a part of the Patreon account, the History Maker golf cards. Patreon account are those that have shown interest in the golf game. I made some cards for those people a month or 2 ago. Probably 2, maybe 3. I don't know. Time flies when you're having fun. But so here's what I did, and I'm still mulling through whether this is. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to find a quote-unquote home course. I want it to kind of be like our country club, if you will. It's kind of the feel that I want to have, and eventually I wouldn't mind trying something such as a league, if you will. I have to figure. I'm still trying to sort of churn in my head how a league would work. I think you'd have to combine some statistics, but that's not true. I think it would be the way that we ran a league back in my hometown. I wasn't in a league, but I subbed. It was doubles, so it was 2-man teams, played 9 holes. I believe that you got a point per hole. There were handicaps involved. I don't know how that works in History Maker golf. I'll have to I may have to test it out a little bit. But so at the moment, unless something changes, what I did was this home course that I'm looking for. I made the decision that I would choose what I feel like is the ultimate home course in the U.S. And for me, what I would consider if I were going to be a member of any club, if I could be, and I will give some thanks here in a minute for this course, but Pine Valley would be the one. And so David Gray at a site called Back to Minnesota has a solo variant of Pine Valley in New Jersey, suburban Philadelphia, always in the top 5 or 10 golf courses in the United States or in the world for that matter. A real test of a course. It's a very exclusive club. I did meet a guy who's played it before, which is kind of neat. But I thought about the possibility of trying to design the course that I used to play on. The other thing I thought about doing is going back and redesigning the cards to be a little more reflective of sort of like golfers that are not quite so good, because I'm just not sure how great it will. I mean, it might be fine to use the cards that I made. I guess I'm gonna start with those, and if it seems to be somewhat anticlimactic or boring or you know, but I don't know is but like the course I grew up on, it's an easy course, and I feel like if I took the cards that I made for people onto that, we'd have a lot of low scores, which just might not be realistic. But Pine Valley, if you don't know too much about it, they they don't put rakes in the bunkers, so the bunkers are pretty nasty. As I said, it's more exclusive, I would say, than Augusta at this point. You really kind of, I think, need to know somebody. But that's my plan at this point, and I have to figure out whether it's a league, whether it's just some, trying some Calcuttas. Is that what it's called? No, Nassaus. I think that's the word I'm thinking for. Maybe it is Calcuttas. I don't know. I haven't done a lot of that lately, so where you basically you have a front nine and a back nine and then total score. And you could kind of team up guys and work it that way, or just I don't know, just play rounds, play skins games, play mini tournaments. We'll see. The sky is the limit. But yeah, and I'm also I'm also somewhat disappointed that I haven't been able to do more with second season. So I'm getting the itch for that, and if the Phillies tick me off, which this is the last game was definitely one of those that was starting to get under the collar a little bit. Maybe that's the time that I start thinking about taking a little break from it, and I'd like to be done with this Phillies replay by the end of March. Part of me would like to be done by the end of February, and unfortunately, sort of get when you get a little when you get a little disenchanted with something, it just makes you think it might be time to just take a little break, come back to it, everything will be fine. Sometimes it's just in the heat of the moment, you just have to sort of like take a step back and let it breathe a bit. It'll be okay, and that may be what I do. Maybe I'll just jump right back in tomorrow and play another game. If I do, it'll be on the channel, and it might be, yeah, it might. I don't know. When I feel like that, I really prefer to not get going on the channel, because I feel like it's I don't trust the feeling that I get sometimes. So let me see, what's the pitching matchup? It should be, so Kendrick went in this game, so that's probably Blanton. Phillies in real life won it 2-1. Go figure. They can barely score 3 runs at Petco. I guess Cole Hamels went in that game, and it was against Chasung Bak, which I thought he was no, I guess he was in the starting pitchers that I had here. I don't know if he's a Korean pitcher or what. Let's see. There he is. Cha Sung Bak. 4.62. Of course, the higher the ERA, the more the Phillies turn him into, you know, the greatest of greats. So, anyway, but that being said, all is well with the channel. I would like to start thinking about getting some other stuff too. So we'll see. I'm mulling it over. I like the football game. Not sure whether to go with something else from play, or whether I'm gonna maybe try and get a different baseball game. But I have projects in Stratomatic, in History Maker Baseball, History Maker Golf, and I have, like I said, second season that I would like to do a project in, but I'd like to get something off of my plate first. So that's where I'm just sort of like buying another game. It just gets a little daunting to consider that. I don't like being overextended, and I feel a little bit that way right now. So anyway, it's been about 15 minutes here. I don't want to take too much time. Thanks for all your support in this channel. Again, I don't like to come out here and complain. I'm not really trying to complain. I'm just saying that, I'm still going to experience some frustrations. It's okay. We have to we all have to go through that in whatever things we're doing. Trying some old school basic strat, that may be on the horizon, but again, I get to the point where I feel like if I'm going to play strat, I want to do this series and get it done. I don't want, I like resolution, and it feels like it's been going on for a year, which it really has come like April. So, but anyway, I'm just, again, I'm trying to be authentic, express the real emotion, and that's where it's at. It's, again, you know, we can't sanitize ourselves from feeling emotion. I mean, if something doesn't make you have a feeling of either joy or a little bit of disappointment or maybe even a little bit of anger at times, then you're just it's just going to be a labor as opposed to a joy, or as opposed to a passion. Um, Passion manifests in many different ways. So I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of, that if someone feels a little bit of anger towards a project like this, you just have to know how to channel it, and to, um, you know, you like when who is it? What's his name? Kazmar. I want to say Scott, but it's Sean Kazmar. Hit the double there in the 11th. I made eggs. And those projects were nice in that my passion was just interest in the outcome. Didn't really have any interest in seeing one team win. It was just what would happen. And so maybe that's yours. Maybe that's where your passion lies. I think that's where mine does. I think I've learned that through this. I'm not sure I'll do a replay again unless it were somehow a full season replay, which would be an extreme undertaking. And I don't know as I have time to do that while trying to curate or co-curate a YouTube channel. So that being said, I think it's going to be something where I just sort of try and find projects that ask a question, and from there, we'll see where we go. But I need to get going. So thanks a lot, everybody, for the support. As I said, sign off. Until next time, enjoy your tabletop sports, just like I'm trying to do here. Little by little, we get there. So whether it's Strat, History Maker, Payoff Pitch, ATBA, just enjoy the games. Have fun. Or any of the other sports games. Have fun, and we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.